Welcome to another episode of What's the Point podcast, a unique show about men and their mental health. There are no doctors, no professionals, just real men talking about real stuff. And now, the What's the Point podcast, where you are the point.
Wow. This is the first time I've ever sat in someone's living room to record a podcast. What do you think?
I've been here a lot.
You've been here a lot.
I show up all the time.
Wow. Wow.
But since this
We
is
just
your
didn't
first
tell
time,
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
We
incredible.
didn't want you to feel left out.
Well, welcome to What's the Point podcast, live from the Bernard family living room. This is incredible. And we have a great guest. We have Greg with us today.
Yeah, excited to be here. It'll be a fun conversation and looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out, do we look at the
screen
do we
or-
look at
We
each
usually
other?
look at the screen.
We
We
look at the
usually
screen.
have it nice and big like this.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, I brought my dog.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Look at that.
Jude's there.
Yeah, we got the dog.
If you're watching the
My dog.
YouTube video, there's Jude
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, also
Cozy
the
living
family.
room vibe here.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
much so.
Wick, how are you?
All is good.
Yeah?
Busy. We're in
Busy.
the middle of our move.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sold your
know,
house.
Sold our house or our condo. Got a new townhome.
Yeah.
Not far from here. They'll be moving next week. So yeah, all kinds of good things going on.
Yeah.
Good things, and it's right. You know, this isn't going to air for a while, but
Okay.
we're in the midst of the state fair.
Oh,
The Great Minnesota
great
Get Together.
Minnesota get-together.
I'm heading there this Sunday, hopefully with my granddaughter.
Ah.
What do you advise?
What do I advise?
Yeah, like what do you, because I know you've been there already. So what did you partake in?
So, I can't barely get in the front gate without getting a bag of cotton candy in my hands.
Okay.
That may
it's always-
surprise you,
No, it's always a good
but
call.
I figure if you're going to go into something, get good and juiced on sugar
Oh,
and see
yeah,
where
yeah.
it takes you from there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I'm kind of a traditionalist. It's cheese curds. I'm a pronto pup guy. This corn dog
Okay.
business, I think they're
Almost there,
overrated.
okay.
Almost there, little guy.
But, you know, the giant slide.
Well, I'm hoping. Last year, my daughter won't let me
Come on.
take my granddaughter down the giant slide. She's only a year and a half.
Oh, that's a little young for that.
But I think this year,
Yeah.
it's slide time.
Slide time.
That's what I'm planning on.
How about you, Andy? You been to the fair?
Yeah, we Tom Bernard podcast. We did it live from the State Fair on the 23rd. I was there. My voice sounded even worse than it does today, by quite a bit actually. Mark over there says he's got allergies. I think he might be in denial a little bit.
We're probably all in here getting COVID.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, I have done a COVID test. I do not have COVID.
Okay.
So
Well,
whatever it is,
that's good.
I can tell you it's not COVID. But yeah, it's been a little low energy the past week or so. But you do what you got to do.
Little end of the summer cold, huh?
I know it's like this is the exact opposite of cold and flu season. But here we are. Well, but it is also the start of school.
Ah, true.
Mhm. Yes.
Every bug and you got yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Wick, you got a question for us?
I do. So let me read. I have a question.
Oh,
What is the average number of patents
patents.
granted in the U.S. each year?
Oh, that's a tough
How many
one.
new patents?
I'm gonna
each
guess
year?
it's in the thousands.
Yeah, but you got to be more specific
Well, that's
than that.
very
that's,
narrow.
that's like me
Like-
saying more than one.
Yeah.
No, my guess is 1,000 through infinity.
I'm going like 40K.
40? Okay, I got
40,000.
40,000.
I don't know.
Maybe that's not right. I have no idea.
I really
honestly don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised by anything from 1,000 to 50,000. So I'm going to go 25, right in the middle.
You know, we had to go through the patent process when we started Face It because we had to patent and trademark our logo.
Yeah, that's the thing is you have to patent everything,
Yep.
and it's not difficult to get a patent actually.
Nope, it's not, but it's a pain in the butt to renew them. I am going to say 11,612.
Wow. You are all
Way off.
way off.
Oh, all right.
A million?
There you go.
330 to 370,000
Oh,
Wow.
each
Wow.
year.
I was like 7 times off.
330,000 to 370,000.
Did you, like, typical category, or is it just, I imagine it's
Yes.
all over the map?
Patents.
Well,
Okay.
The category is
so,
patent.
but here's the follow-up question. If you could erase one invention from history,
Oh my gosh.
what would it be?
Oh goodness.
Are mosquitoes an invention?
No.
Unfortunately not.
If I could erase one basketball.
Basketball. You got something to say to the Canadians out there?
You're just saying that to make me feel good.
How about you, Greg?
I'm doing well.
No, but what would you
would you
erase?
You know,
This.
I have no idea.
That's a
there's
Oh, come on,
really
that is not
tough
an answer.
question, honestly.
gotta think of something funny, you know,
No,
or
no,
useful
I
or
mean,
practical.
whatever you want. Like,
Yeah, I
what
mean, I
would
guess you could say like heroin.
Nuclear
That's a good
warheads.
one. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Guns, swords, bombs.
I'm
You know,
alright
there's a
with
lot of.
those
I guess
things,
there's a lot of good choices.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm gonna do this podcast petting a dog.
That's fine.
I'm
You-
so
That's what
happy.
we do. We do.
and you know
Every
what?
one of our podcasts,
I
there's a
had
dog on the
little
couch.
advantage.
Yeah. So what'd you come up with?
You want to know what I honestly can't? I just went round and round.
Yeah.
It's gonna sound dumb.
The phone.
Hey,
The cell phone.
Oh, the smartphone.
To me,
Yeah, no, that's valid.
I would love, and again, we can't go back in history. You know, I'm thinking
Just
like automobiles, because you know the luck I have with automobiles.
Yeah, true.
But we need them, like they're good. But I just think that to me, this constant connection of
Yeah.
instant access all the time, and just they're really good things, but like everything, they can be used for bad.
Totally.
And I see so many problems with this. I would like to go back to
100%.
a simpler time.
I agree with that. I had breakfast
yeah.
this morning with a guy, and we had this very same conversation about the phone, about how it's the most incredible thing, and maybe one of the most destructive things all at the same time.
Yep.
See, I would go with the printing press.
The
That's
printing
where it all
press.
went wrong.
That's where it all went wrong.
Too much knowledge in too many hands. Keep the priesthood with all the books.
Well, unfortunately, we don't get to erase any of these things. So
No.
I'm
No,
trying to
no,
picture a
true.
world without cell phones and basketball. We'd watch a lot of hockey, buddy.
Yeah.
And I think the world would be better for
was gonna
that.
say,
But
no-
that's just my opinion.
No cell phones and no basketball. That's like what, like 1850-ish?
Yeah.
Because basketball's kind of new.
I don't know when Naismith, right?
Yes.
Our last guest, Steve Munson, well, 2 guests ago, Steve Munson is from Springfield, Massachusetts, which, if I am correct, is the birthplace of basketball.
That's-
1891.
cool.
So
1891.
actually quite recent.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We just got to go back to 1891. That's all.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure that was a good time to live.
Yeah, lovely.
I'm sure there were lots
sick.
of podcasts.
Get some polio.
Well,
What'd you say? Toledo?
no.
Oh,
Springfield,
yeah.
Massachusetts. So, well, what do you say, pup? Are we ready to have our
He
podcast?
likes you.
Yeah, you do. Well, we're super excited to have you, and I look
Yeah.
forward to what we're going to learn about you, and
Yeah.
we'll be right back after this message.
Sounds good.
At Brand Inc., we know your business's reputation rides on every detail, especially when it's on the road. Our commercial vehicle wraps combine eye-catching design, 3M-backed installation, and a seamless process built for busy teams. Whether it's one truck or an entire fleet, we help you turn heads, build trust, and grow your business. Your vehicles are always moving. Make sure your brand moves with them. Start your project at brandinc.com. That's Inc with a K, brandinc.com.
You're listening to the What's the Point podcast, where you are the point. And now your hosts, Mark Meyer, Bill Deckus, and Mark Wick.
Well, it's good to be back in studio. We don't have Bill today, so we should all just
Yes.
give Bill a quick wave.
He's on another
Yeah.
cruise.
He's on another cruise. You know, all he
Hello,
does
Bill.
is cruise.
I don't know if it's a cruise, but
Well,
I don't think he's
we'll-
actually on another
I think next time when Bill comes back,
We'll ask him
we
about
can
it.
ask Bill where he was.
Yeah,
When
for the August show.
when Greg was here.
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
Greg
Yeah.
asked about him. So
Yeah, I thought he'd call in today.
yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
If he was committed to this, like,
Yeah.
because he called in from the cruise. I think you
Right.
called in. Oh no, you didn't. But anyways,
I wonder,
we'll
if
ask
they, I, wonder,
him.
I wonder if they let phones in colonoscopy exam rooms.
I don't know what that has to do with our podcast today, but
That's
we'll check in
a-
with.
That's a
point.
question
Well-
I didn't think I'd hear today.
Yeah,
point.
no, we'll check in with
point.
Bill next
Good point.
next session.
Well, we're fortunate to have Greg Pehl in the studio today.
Yes.
And Greg, we're super excited to have you. And actually, I know you and Mark know each other very well because you were in a group together for a long time. But
Yes.
tell our listeners just a little bit about who you are.
Yeah.
You know, the basics.
Yeah, my name is Greg. I'm 27 years old. I just turned 27 a few days ago, actually, and I currently work as a mental health clinician. I work in a hospital in an emergency department. I'm a social worker by trade. I joined Face It about 4 years ago. Went through some pretty serious mental health challenges back then, and I'm the oldest of 4 siblings, so I got 3 younger siblings. Yeah.
Wow. Well, congratulations. You actually just finished grad school not that long ago.
I
That
did just
is-
in May, so it's
Yeah.
been about 4 months
Wow.
out of grad school. So
That
it's
is
pretty.
that is fantastic. That is
Yeah.
so great. That is so
Yeah.
great. Well, tell us, we all know why we're here.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your mental health journey. And I realize it's hard to encapsulate years upon years of challenges, but
Yeah.
share a little bit about where things started to get difficult for you and
Yeah.
what you experienced and what you were feeling and what you were thinking.
I think I think a lot of guys will say this, but COVID was a big challenge for me. Just being isolated, being away from friends, family.
Were you? I'm sorry. Were you in college at that time?
I
or-
was, yeah.
Okay.
I was in COVID kind of hit end of junior year of college for me.
Okay.
But going into that senior year, I was really isolated. I was kind of stuck in my bedroom and depression really kicked in pretty hard. And I was able to that time I didn't really know what was going on. I just knew I didn't feel good.
Yeah.
And it really became a crisis like that following fall, I would say. And then that's when things really got out of control.
Sorry.
And
So when you said you didn't feel good,
yeah.
was it crying? Was it I can't get out of bed? Was it thoughts of suicide? What?
It was
Desperation. What was it?
In the beginning, it was kind of that numb feeling. We talk about this in group a lot, but it's just like, I at least for me, like the depression, I feel like it's almost like it's not that you don't feel bad or don't feel good. It's just like you don't feel anything almost. It's just like you're just numb to the world, and that's really how it showed up for me in the beginning. And then it kind of flipped into panic and anxiety, and that's when the suicidal stuff kind of came in too. And so I've definitely had the whole range of depression, anxiety kind of experience, and it's been scary, but also has made me a better person too. It's kind of my message to the world, I think.
So when you were in that, when
Yeah.
that started, and it was during COVID,
Yeah.
and you're at home.
Yeah, I went to college in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So I lived in a really small 1890s built house with 5 people. It was 1,000 square feet, and we were all just in this little house.
Oh, okay.
And so that was part of it too, is the roommate situation was kind of challenging, and then being stuck in a small place with COVID, and yeah, it was just not a great
So
time.
you were there the whole time. You didn't end up coming home.
No,
okay.
I was in school, yeah. So I was living out in Eau Claire for that year, and I was also a swimmer. So I swam in college too. So I was a Division III swimmer. So that was a big part of kind of what kicked in the anxiety too. I think for me was I had been competitively swimming every day for 12 years, and then all of a sudden I was done.
Out of the pool, couldn't exercise.
Yeah.
Didn't have your teammates. Didn't have your routine.
Yep. So that fall after graduating college, that was part of kind of what got me in crisis. So
Yeah. Do you think? Do you recall any times prior? I mean, we all have our struggles, but do you recall anything of this intensity during high school, or is it really in college when it really?
In high school, I did have looking back, I didn't really realize. I didn't. When you're a kid, you don't quite. Sometimes they don't talk about mental health, or at least when I was a kid, mental health wasn't talked about quite as much as it is now. So I definitely had an episode of depression when I was in high school, but I didn't tell anyone about it. I was just scared, and I didn't know what it was, and I just remember feeling depressed, and maybe I'd be better off not here, and I didn't know what to do about it, and eventually it kind of subsided. It went away after, I don't know, a little while, but yeah, I do. I mean, I definitely had that underlying depression most of my life.
Yeah.
But it really kicked up when I was kind of entering adulthood and out of college and that kind of thing.
Did your roommates see any of this, do you think, when you were in college?
Yeah.
What did they say
100%. I've talked to them about this because I'm really close with, especially one of my roommates. He, they noticed it, but I think they were kind of at a point where they weren't able to do anything, and it was a tough time for everyone.
Of course.
Like I think just COVID was like, you know, it everyone had their own issues going on with, you know, not just the illness of the pandemic, but you know, just like the employment and, you know, figuring out income and organizing, like, and being in college.
School, all
and
that.
yeah, and all my roommates were swimmers too, so, you know, like being an athlete too, like everyone kind of had their own stuff going on, you know, so it's kind of, it's, you know, there's like, everyone's kind of worried about themselves a little bit, not in like a selfish way, just like, just that's kind of where the time was, you know.
I was going to say, I bet I could guess what your roommate said to you during that time. Mm-hmm. And that was nothing.
Yeah.
Because I think, you know, it's very much like when we go to a funeral sometimes. These people are hurting. What do we say?
Yeah.
And I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Right.
So instead,
Right.
I say nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that also sends a message.
Yeah.
And were your roommates all the same grade as you? You were all
Yeah, we were
seniors
all about the same age. Yeah.
and athletes,
Yep.
right? And all of a sudden, your swimming is taken away.
Yep.
Because of the COVID.
Yeah, it wasn't entirely gone, but it was like way different. Like we were not able to be near our teammates and testing for COVID all the time, and yeah, it was. And then when I graduated, obviously it was done too.
It's done. And then what are you? Because if I would have asked you at the time, I bet you would have said, hey, if I would have said, hey, are you an Eau Claire swimmer?
Yep.
You said, yeah. And I said, no, you're not. Not that you got cut, but you're much more than that.
Totally.
You're a student, a roommate, a brother, all this. But we let what we do, and in this case as an athlete, but we also let it affect us as a adult, right?
Oh, yeah.
People that are lawyers their whole life, doctors, bankers, janitors, when they retire, like, what am I now? What we do becomes who we are.
Totally.
And when that's taken away, especially at that age for you, that's a big change.
And identity is a huge part of mental health recovery. Like not knowing, like depression kind of takes away you knowing who you are in some ways, and recovery to me is like figuring out more and more who you really are, and that's kind of one of the amazing parts about my recovery path is it's helped me
figure that out.
Helped me figure out like who I am as a person beyond being a brother and a swimmer and whatever, like just who do I want to be, you know? So
So you graduate from college. Tell us the trajectory of your mental health story from there. Because then it got really ugly.
That's when it got really not great.
and what did you experience, Greg?
I think the biggest I was diagnosed with panic disorder, and I think that was kind of the biggest thing was the anxiety at that time. My heart would be racing all the time. I wouldn't sleep for several days because I was so anxious. The panic disorder is like this loop of like chaos, basically, where you get anxious about, your physical self, and then you get more, and then your physical self gets like ramped up, and then you're anxious about that, and it's like this whole like chaos loop. And I was basically stuck in that loop.
Were you able to work? Were you looking for
No.
work? Were you able to leave the house? Were you?
No, I was in the house. I was anxious. I was panicked. I was not sleeping.
You were living with your folks.
I was with my parents at the time. Yeah.
Who are pretty well-educated folks. And,
Absolutely, yeah.
And work in the medical field, both of them, or did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what was happening then? Were they trying to get you into treatment? Or?
Yeah, and it got to the point, I was trying to get as much help as I could, and I started on different antidepressant medications and was trying different therapy and stuff, but it got to the point where the anxiety was so debilitating that like the suicidal thoughts started taking over my life basically.
Yeah.
And I ended up in the hospital, and from there it was really scary. It was like terrifyingly scary. But at the same time, I look back at it, and that was kind of the turning point for me to find hope. Like it was.
What do you think gave you hope out of that? Was it putting a name to it? Was it seeing that there's something that can be done?
I think when you get to that point of like so so stressed and anxious and depressed and that you're thinking about not even being alive. It's at the point where, like, I'm not really scared of a whole lot anymore because I've been through probably like one of the scariest things you can go through, like in your brain. And like, so like just like being exposed to that like amount of anguish.
Yeah.
Like makes you so much stronger.
Eventually.
It took a long time to get to that point.
So when you were hospitalized, were you here locally, or because I recall, did you do a treatment program?
I did. Yeah. So after I was in the hospital, I did another treatment program out in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And then I was in different. And then that was about the time I started Face It, like slightly after my hospitalization, and then I took a break from Face It while I was in treatment, and then I came back to Face It, and Face It was a huge part of my journey in recovery. I
want to just focus on something you just said for a moment, especially for our listeners, because I think about all the interviews we've done, and I don't think it's come up in this manner.
Yeah.
It's frightening. To be this debilitated.
Oh yeah, I was scared, like very, very scared, depressed, anxious. I thought my brain was like damaged, or like the thoughts going through my head were just really, really scary.
I remember when I was in the hospital, and people talk about what did it feel like to be depressed, what did it feel like anxious. You know, we all have those stories, but I remember being in the hospital thinking, this is it. This is my fate. This is who I am.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to be, and I will never ever be better.
Yeah. No, that is exactly what was going through my head.
Yeah.
Like throughout probably like a good year of that type of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, a solid year of like, really, this is the end of it for me.
Which I believe that experience is the real traumatizing impact on top of being depressed, is this notion of believing my life is essentially over.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the scary part about depression and anxiety too, is it can get to the point where you don't think there's hope.
Right.
Like you literally have no hope.
Right.
And the interesting part about it is, you know, that waiting it out and like working towards my recovery and kind of building strength that way, you get that hope back, and it's better. Like it's like I'm way more hopeful and strong now than I ever was before, and that's because of my struggles.
Yeah.
But it's like I always say though, like I never like wish this type of stuff on anyone, but at the same time, it's like made me a better person. It's kind of a weird like.
I bet we get
it's like
to
a
talk
weird
about
balance.
that. Yep.
It's like a weird balance between those two things.
And I think that this will, when people see this, if they have experienced that anxiety, it'll validate what they've experienced. And if people have never experienced it, it's still going to be tough for them to understand.
Yeah.
Right? Because they look at you, guys, like, why would you think that way? Well, like, what do you mean you were at the end of it? You certainly don't look like that.
Right.
But it's what goes on in here.
Oh, yeah.
And if you've never experienced it, you can't figure it out.
100%.
But it's so real when you're in it.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you said, because I think this is the one thing we can always give people, is hope.
Right.
And when you're in it, you feel like there is no hope.
Right.
Very true.
And when they see this, they will realize, wow.
Yeah.
There is.
And that's my message for this episode.
Hold on to that one, because we're going to get to that.
Okay, well we can talk about that in a
This
little
guy
bit.
runs a tight ship.
Yeah,
we're going to get to that.
We'll get to it.
I want to hang on to that message because I think I have a sense what the message is. Well, I appreciate you sharing this, and I wish we could talk for 4 hours about this, because I think the nature of what you started to describe is something people often do need validated, because you really do think you're, excuse my vernacular, you think you're batshit crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And you just assume you're never coming back. So anyway, well, when we come back, Mark will get into talking about recovery and what that's all looked like for you. So we'll be back in just a moment.
Awesome.
Founded in 2006 by Josh Egner, JT Egner Construction is a trusted commercial construction company built on a passion for serving clients and building lasting partnerships. Every project is approached from the client's perspective, listening to their needs, understanding their vision, and delivering tailored solutions that align with their unique goals. JT Agner specializes in helping both for-profit and nonprofit organizations build, manage, and improve their facilities. Their expertise spans sectors like industrial sites, medical facilities, corporate headquarters, worship spaces and childcare centers, senior living communities, retail spaces, and restaurants. Whether it's ground-up construction, renovations and additions, or ongoing facility management, their mission is to partner with leadership teams to create functional and efficient spaces. Josh shares, "What drives me is the joy of serving others, working as part of a team, and solving challenges. We truly love our work. We know construction can be stressful, so we value the opportunity to guide you every step of the way from the initial conception to the final completion." So for all your commercial construction needs, reach out to Josh and the team at JT Agner Construction at 952-985-0582 or online at jtagner.com.
You're listening to the What's the Point podcast, where you are the point. And now your hosts, Mark Meyer, Bill Deckus, and Mark Wick.
Well,
were you waiting for the picture to come up?
I was waiting. I didn't know when we were back live. Okay. Yeah, I wanted to see.
So unless you're on TV, you're not talking. No, that's how this deal is.
You don't think I've ever done this stuff before?
Unbelievable.
I ain't wasting my breath buying that. Well, we're back with Greg, and I'm gonna say something. Usually, Mark and Bill will say, because you said you've been coming here for 4 years. A lot of times, we'll hear from them like, "Oh man, I thought you'd be a lot farther along than that." But I'm gonna say this: having been in group with you, Greg and I were in the same group.
Yes. 20s group.
The 20s group.
Yeah.
It was for us guys in our 20s. Now, I aged out of it.
Yeah.
Like you said, you're still 27, so you're still in it.
What are you, 31 now?
Yeah, I recently got kicked out of that group.
Recently.
But,
it was kicked out of a lot of groups.
Yeah. This one I aged out of, I like to say.
Right.
But it has been amazing, and I don't say this lightly, just at what you have done. And how you have turned this situation into such a positive.
Yeah.
And, to see you back then. But I want to ask you also, how did you end up at Face It?
That's a great question. So,
I have an answer, but I'll wait to hear his.
So basically, when I was kind of crisis started, when I was coming out of college and that whole thing, I was working with my dad, and he kind of recommended it to me, and so that was kind of how I got connected with it. Originally, my first Face It thing was I went on this hike out in we were out in kind of the east side of the Twin Cities.
You went on that hike. Yep.
And
I remember.
That was when I first met, some Face It guys, and my brain was just not in a place to fully grasp the kind of the impact that would have on me at the time. Because I was just so anxious and not really there. But that kind of, there was a guy. One of the guys I met there, I've been really close with him for the last 4 years.
Is it a guy in your group now?
Yeah.
Got it.
He was, yeah. And he's out of the group now, but we're still really close, and but he's been like a mentor to me, and just someone to walk alongside in our recovery journey. But yeah, that Face It's been such a huge part of my growth and getting back on my feet, and just being there with guys to go through this together has been so powerful. So,
and I'm sure I asked you.
Yeah.
That first time you came to group.
Yeah.
Like I would ask everybody else, how did it feel to walk through that door?
Oh, it's scary. It's really scary. I feel like establishing a hey, I'm gonna work on my mental health now. That point when you say all right, this is a problem and I'm gonna do something about it. That is really hard.
Well, denial is comforting. And once you get rid of it entirely, that blanket is gone.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, like, you know, whether it's going to therapy or starting medication or going to face it or whatever your, you know, point is, like, I'm going to try to make things better. That's really scary. Like being like, all right, let's do something about this. And I was definitely in that frame of mind for sure.
And now let's do it in front of 5-6 other people. Because you were one of the OGs. Yeah. Right? The originals with that group early on.
Yep.
When this 20s group started. Right. But just, you know, we have the societal message of, well, it's a sign of weakness, right? But the sign of strength and courage to do that at, 23 years old?
Yeah,
if you've been there 4 years.
That's
like
about,
23, like, you talk about hope in that. Like, what a great thing. Do you wish you would have done it when you were 23?
Of course.
I would have done it instead of waiting till I was 50. You know, like, you know, just how much it's changed. But that was really tough.
It's, and this is, again, it's kind of my message that I'm getting at here is, like, it was really not fun. Like, not great at all. And at the same time, like, I'm really grateful for the crisis.
When you think back to that first walk and you show up and you're not in a great spot and you're still, you know, anxious and all that, and can you recall at all what you were saying to yourself about just show up, just go, just like, how'd you get there? And I know maybe your dad brought you, I don't recall, but I mean, because you could have said no, you could have crawled back into bed. Like, what was the message or messages you were giving yourself, do you think?
You know, it was kind of like, at that point in my life, I was so, like, hopeless that I was just like, I'll be willing to do whatever. Yeah. Like, you just, like, you kind of surrender to the fact that you're just at the end of it. And it's like,
might as well.
It's like, you know, it's like, what, like, obviously what I'm doing isn't working, so let's try something else. And that's kind of where I was at in my head. It was like, maybe this will work, maybe it won't, but whatever the hell I'm doing right now, sure ain't doing it, right? So.
Yeah.
And I think if you watched...
So, yeah.
What did you say? It is number 43?
Yep, sure is.
This is our 43rd broadcast.
Wow.
Podcast. And a lot of times, the people that we have on here are closer in age to Mark and I.
Sure.
Right?
Okay, fine.
We're close. I mean, I just got out of the 20s group, okay?
Same quartile.
So we're
Good point. Good point.
So we're 31 to 50.
Okay.
Bill's not here. We're not close to that age. Not saying Bill's. But
31 to 50.
Yeah.
So, and those guys have different things going on in their lives.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
We've had Mickey on here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we have you on here.
Yeah.
Because, well, geez, relationships are tough.
Right.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about this, Andy.
Yep.
Parenting is tough, right?
Yep, sure is.
Your mortgages, all this type of stuff, right? Like, we've got all these pressures as we get older and stuff, right? We kind of forget sometimes about you guys. And it ain't easy being a 20-year-old in 2025 with what's going on in this world, what the expectations are, what those challenges are.
Yeah.
And the message is, boy, you're done. You got all this freedom now, man. Just enjoy this.
Yeah.
It's the best years of your life.
Best years of your life. College, best 4 years of your life. Right?
Yeah.
Well, there's good times, but they forget about all this other crap you have to go through.
Yeah.
So it's really tough.
Yep.
And it's not just us old guys that it affects.
Totally.
And being willing to get that help there. So when you come in, what have you done that has helped change? What are some things that you've done that have been positive in your mental health journey?
Yeah.
What types of things have worked?
I always tell people it's like, and this sounds really like cliche, but it's a combination of a lot of things, right? Like, it's connection with others. That's
the face it piece.
Face it's been a huge part of that. The medications, obviously, like, sometimes they work for people, sometimes they don't. For me, that's really been helpful. therapy has been huge. I've done a lot of types of therapy. And
any in particular? Did you do any EMDR or any art or any of the trauma-based therapies?
DBT, dialectical behavior therapy, really changed my life.
I wish everybody would get a little exposure to DBT.
DBT kind of flipped the way I think about.
Yeah.
It just kind of flipped the way I think about my life. And
do we have time to summarize what that is for unfamiliar listeners?
Yeah, DBT is a type of therapy that the focus is kind of on acceptance and change, and
it's pretty skill based.
You learn a lot of different mental health skills to kind of cope with things, and the main idea is dialectics. So it's the idea that like two things that seem like they can't be true together can be true at the same time. So like. Kind of like what I'm talking about, like the crisis I've been through was really hard and scary and terrible, and at the same time it's made me like stronger and better, and I'm grateful for it. So those two things can kind of be true at the same time. That's what DBT is about. Then trauma therapy too. I've done like accelerated resolution therapy and prolonged exposure therapy, and
especially with anxiety, I would assume they did some of that stuff around the anxiety. Because when you have panic disorder, I had a diagnosis of
exposure therapy.
I had a diagnosis of generalized anxiety disorder, and the anxiety piece was like that was the piece that I needed the skills the most for. So.
Yeah, and then I think just hobbies has been a huge one for me too. Like just kind of figuring out things that I like, because depression kind of takes away the pleasure of just doing stuff, and like just being willing to try new hobbies and different activities. And
any in particular?
I've been into like graphic design is something I picked up while I was actually in one of my mental health treatment programs. So I started doing that like several years ago, and now I do it like I get paid for some of my stuff that I do. So it's like it's like a little gig for me that I have. So like just kind of like little like artistic stuff, or I collect vinyl records, so I do like a ton of music stuff. And I was actually just at a record shop earlier today because I wanted to kill a little time.
Kids these days, just all they do is buy albums.
You know what? I got one for you.
That you have?
Yep.
Burt Bacharach.
Nope. You remember Gino's Pizza?
Of course I do.
Gino's Pizza Rolls?
Yeah.
I have a Gino's album to eat pizza by. I'll bring it in next time.
Which is?
I don't know, but it's just an album.
They put out
Gino's. It got Gino's Pizza on it, and it's an album to eat pizza with, and I will bring that in and
give it to Greg.
It's worth a lot. So I don't know if I'm willing to do that yet.
So hobbies.
Be a collector's item.
I think Gino's Pizza Rolls.
Generally just trying new things is really helpful in mental health recovery. Being willing to try different stuff.
Well, and like you said, when you're depressed and anxious, that ability to look beyond, the tip of your nose is essentially impossible, right? We just get robbed of any ability to see the world in anything other than doom and gloom. So.
Yes.
Well, what about going back to school? How has that played in? I mean, you are now delivering the care that you needed so much.
Literally, and that's like kind of the cool part about my story, I think, is throughout this recovery, the couple years of recovery that the past 4 years or so, like I really developed a huge passion for mental health recovery, and I started working in mental health several years ago because of that, and I just fell in love with it. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And I've learned about social work and how you can become a mental health professional through being a social worker, and with my previous educational background, social work really like aligned with what I wanted to do in my life, and that combined with the mental health support. So I went back to school for my master's in social work.
Where'd you go?
I went to the University of Minnesota.
Okay. Sky U-Ma, baby.
Yeah.
Row the boat.
Row the boat, Mark.
Row the boat.
Okay.
Win last
but
night,
yeah, so
they beat Buffalo.
Win's a win, man. They don't ask how, they ask how many.
That's true. That's true. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I really, school was a sacrifice, and it was a challenge, but I'm so glad I did it because it's enabled me to give back and do mental health as a career now. So it's what I do for a living, which is really cool.
I love what you said. It's the connection. It's face it.
Yeah.
For you, it's the medication piece. It's the therapy piece. Yeah. It's the hobbies piece. Yeah. It's all these other things.
Yes.
Right? And I remember from the 20s group, one of the people, because not everything works for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because we were talking about journaling one night, and I remember one of the guys said, "Oh man, I hate it." And I said, "Well, don't do it."
Yeah.
I don't have to? They said I have to journal. You don't have to.
Right.
Because if we knew 100%. What worked for everybody, we'd be doing this podcast from our own island. Well, I'm so rich.
I think one thing you have to do is you have to connect with other people.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yep. Because we're social creatures.
Right.
We introvert, extrovert, it doesn't matter. No. We have to have connections with people.
Totally.
And that looks different for everybody else.
Right.
But we also have to be willing to try things.
100%.
Yes.
But I think the other problem is, I always used to say, like, we're the microwave society. We want it now.
Yeah.
Well, I tried meditation, it didn't work.
Yeah.
What? Well, I tried it once.
Meditated for 4.5 minutes.
Right. Or I couldn't do it. Well,
yeah,
because I tried to meditate for a half hour the first time I did it. It's like, you're going to run a marathon. Okay, go train with 20 miles. No, like, it takes time. But then you might find out this isn't for me.
Right.
And that's okay.
And that's okay, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what now?
Right.
And that's one of the things I know you say a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, what now? Try something else.
Exactly. Hey, Greg, what's in the future as far as recovery? What are the next levels? What are things you want to do? You mentioned that this journey has allowed you to discover who you are beyond a swimmer, and discover who we are beyond what we do.
Totally.
What's next, do you think, or what else are you curious about?
This sounds a little silly, but
nothing sounds silly.
In group, we always talk about one of the phrases we throw around a lot is leveling up. All right.
Yeah.
Like it's like a video game or something. Yeah. Like just kind of getting to that next level of like who you are as a person.
It's called growth.
And growing, and just leveling up, growing as a person, growing as a friend, growing as a brother, growing as a professional, as a whatever. And I just hope I can keep leveling up. I feel like these past 4 years or so, in my the time I've been with Face It and the crisis I've been through and the recovery path that I've been on, I've slowly leveled my way up. And I just want to keep doing that, So that's not, kind of a vague answer, but that's the case.
Well, because I think in leveling up, we discover new parts of who we want to be and what we want to look into. So absolutely, absolutely.
So you guys changed the model from what I used to have?
Which was what?
We got to do the work, because if it was easy, they'd call it
basketball.
But if we've erased basketball from history,
we already erased that.
Right.
So
we already got rid of that problem.
Do you see what I handed you there? Do you see how much I care and love you? That I
You know what?
I have your back literally at every turn.
Well, no, I'm going to go something else. I think leveling up is much better.
Yeah.
I think when I left, things probably leveled up a lot more. So good for you. That's
I think in one of our podcasts we'll have to explore what it was like for you to turn 30 when you had to leave the 20s group.
I'm still dealing with it, so I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Well, the thing is, video games didn't exist when you had to leave the 20s group yet, so.
Oh.
Right? You can't level up if there's no such thing as a video game.
Did we, when you were in the 20s
Oh, it's
group?
time to take... Look, where does the time go? That was awesome. We appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back to wrap things up.
Sounds good.
Launched in 2009... Face It is a Minneapolis-based nonprofit organization focused on working with men who deal with depression. Using a peer support model that leverages men's groups, mentoring, social activities like retreats, baseball games, and fishing trips, we provide more than 12,000 hours of free services to hundreds of men each year. And yes, I said free. We never charge for any of our peer support programs, and we will never ask you for a copy of your insurance card. If you're tired of feeling alone in your fight against depression, please visit us at faceitfoundation.org or drop Mark or Bill an email at info@faceitfoundation.org.
You're listening to the What's the Point podcast, where you are the point. And now your hosts, Mark Meyer, Bill Deckus, and Mark Wick.
Well, I'm looking at the notes Bill left us, and we're in the What Have We Learned section. So I'm going to start with you, Greg. I'm not going to ask you what you've learned, but I'm going to ask you, what would you tell a guy driving down the road, listening to this podcast, thinks this mental health stuff's not real, even though he's struggling and he's unhappy and he's not doing well, what would you tell that guy?
Hang on. It sounds so like cliche or whatever, but like just be it there is hope. Like one thing I tell people sometimes, it's like, you know, the light at the end of the tunnel is like so dim that you can't even really see it sometimes. It's like not even really there. But if you just walk, you know, a couple more steps forward, you might be able to, it might just brighten up just a little bit and more and more and more, and eventually you kind of get out of the tunnel, and it's worth the work, it's worth the wait, it's worth the sacrifice, it's worth, I feel like every like minute of the pain that I've been through previously has been worth it, for the joy that I have now. And it's not easy, but it is worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hang on. I like that.
Yeah.
Andy, what have you learned today?
I'd say I'd learned that Greg and I actually have had pretty similar life trajectories, despite him being the child in the room.
Yeah.
We got all these old people, us three, and then Greg also. But yeah, I mean, I really haven't talked about my background actually on this show pretty much at all.
I think we need Andy as a guest, by the way. Yeah.
Guest on the show.
Would you do that, do you think?
I could.
Yeah,
I mean,
let's put him right on the spot.
I've been doing a podcast for 13 years, and every so often I talk about, you know, I'm open about pretty much everything.
You've shared with us a bit, so
Yeah,
anyway.
and I've talked about my own thing, and I've talked about, you know, what I do for a living is I kind of talk about myself, so there's not a lot of secrets when that's the case. And I mean, like, I did the whole, you know, I had nothing but free time, and you just kind of stop enjoying everything because nothing seems to matter, and it's like everyone thinks that depression is like, you know, you're just like constantly crying and wringing your hands and that sort of thing, and it's really just more like 6 months will go by and you'll be like, what even happened in my life in that past 6 months? I might as well have just stopped existing for 6 months.
Yeah.
And I can definitely relate to that whole thing and the whole anxiety and panic and everything, and I think everyone to some degree has experienced that, even if it's for just a day or two.
Oh, totally. Yep. Yeah, anxiety is a normal human emotion. It's just a matter of when it takes over your life. That's when it becomes a problem, right? So.
Oh, and I was probably in that state for a solid 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
Well, then I don't want to diagnose you with anything, but you probably have generalized anxiety disorder.
Oh, look at him over there playing Mr. Professional.
I mean, it's, you know, you talk about it though. I'll tell you what, we normalize this journey with the assumption that everybody has it.
Yep.
Everybody has anxious moments.
Absolutely.
Totally.
But that actually, what you just said to me is what's so profound about this for the four of us, lots of people listening now, lots of our guests. Not actually everybody has to live like this. And that's, I mean, I think for us, we get lost in this stuff. Obviously, when you have such severe panic attacks, you can't function. That's even a whole nother level.
Totally.
But don't you guys all realize, I mean, you do realize, and you've talked about it, in your recovery, you can start looking back and realize, oh, I don't actually have to live this way. The shit show that you talked about to the guy to hold on, it doesn't have to be like that.
Yes.
We won't live for 10 years with a physical issue.
Amen.
We won't live 10
with
years
an open
with
sore.
a sprained ankle, with an open wound.
Right.
There's a whole other world of recovery and life beyond the crisis and the pain.
Hence the reason to do something about it, right?
100%.
Yep.
What have you learned, Wick?
Wow. I've learned that I really miss that 20s group.
Yeah. We miss having you,
And
you know?
you know what, to be honest, okay, full transparency, I'm not 30, okay?
You're not?
I know, knock you over with a feather, but...
we have a 40s group.
We...
And a 50s group.
And
joke about
a
your age a lot.
70s. Oh, wait.
And we started this group, and I cannot believe that, I mean, I'll be truthfully honest, I learned today that you graduated
Yeah.
Because it seems like you just started. It seems like I was in that group last year.
Yeah.
And it's been probably a couple years now since, Connor and them have taken it over.
Right.
And, you had talked about it, about doing it. I don't even think you were enrolled yet.
Mm-hmm.
And here you are graduated.
Yeah.
And I think that is the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And, going back to what you said in the first segment, hope.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that 20s group, you inspire me.
Yeah.
I wish we could go back in time. Mm-hmm. We can't. But what an impact you give to others, and what a profound impact you're going to have within your career here. And you talk about hope. That's what you're going to be spreading
100%.
a ton of.
I appreciate that.
And it's, man, I'm just so proud of you, and it's so cool. And I miss that group.
Yeah, it's
when we hang out with young kids, man, it makes us feel good, right? They accepted us, they let us be in there, and with all my college coaching and stuff, that's what I loved about it, being around that energy. But seeing this group that was facing some super hard challenges, and I could go through that group with, going back to Austin, who left for California, who called me when he was back in town once and we could get together, but just to see all this growth and stuff, and what lies ahead of you guys.
Totally.
You have so much time in front of you, unlike some of us.
Yep.
So it's super cool, and I really appreciate you being on here and open and honesty about stuff.
Yeah, it's my journey is interesting, and it's I one thing, it's kind of reflecting on it, it's like I literally was like the guy in the ER, and now I work in the ER for I'm like on the other side of the picture, and it's like I think it just shows that hope is there, and it recovery is possible, and I'm just really grateful for everything.
So what have you learned, Mr. Meyer?
I've learned a lot. I learned something. I actually had one thing I wanted to say, but then I just learned something new while you were speaking. And I think, I've learned this before, but I'm always reminded of this. The relationships that get built in these groups last a lifetime.
Oh, yeah.
Now, whether you get to spend a bunch of time and know exactly what's going on in Greg's life or not, you don't, because we meet so many people and connect with so many people. But I am reminded that you talked about what Face It did for you. You talked about showing up for that walk. You talk about the guy you met who has been a mentor and a friend, and I'm sure you've done the same for him. And I know so many men who have friends, but they don't know how to connect to each other. They don't know how to talk. They don't know how to get beyond, the cliches of the game, the weather, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And some of the hardest work is learning to be vulnerable. It's learning to trust other people with our feelings, our thoughts, our silly thoughts, And I'm just always in awe, Mark, listening to you speak to a person you've been able to help, who in turn is now helping other people.
Yeah.
I'm just learning each and every day how important these relationships are and the depth of them. So I appreciate you both for reminding me of that.
100, yeah.
Oh, have you learned anything new today? Other than the fact that Wick's not 28, despite that fake ID he kept showing
all of a
you
sudden
guys.
He's gonna go back. When's group? Is it next Monday? He's gonna go back and say, "Did you guys know Wick infiltrated this group? He was not one of us.
He was an imposter."
Yes.
I was wondering why he kept making references to things I didn't understand.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I've learned a lot. This conversation has been really really cool. Like it's kind of, I feel like this is a good milestone in my recovery path.
Amen.
Being willing to come online and on the internet and publicly kind of talk about my path and share the message of hope is like a huge step in my journey, and I'm just grateful for that. I feel like that's pretty cool, and I think just having the courage to talk about this kind of stuff is really important, and because mental health, there's so much stigma, and that's something that I'm really passionate about minimizing and getting rid of where we can. So
Thank you.
And I hope you realize that you being on here is going to save lives and change lives. Because Bill shared with us this week, a comment that we got from somebody who had listened to a podcast. Yeah. And what I think is going to happen now is, I've heard from people that have said, "Oh man, that podcast resonated with me." Yeah. I think now what we're going to see is people are going to hear this podcast and say to their child, "Hey, you need to listen to this." Mm. Right? Yeah. This, you know, like I would share that with my son. He doesn't want to hear stories about guys my age. Yeah. He can relate to you. You're going to hit that whole different group that it's okay when you're 23.
Right. And
to not suffer.
And it's guys especially. Like we, men, we just don't talk about our feelings as much as we should, I think. And I think it's important to challenge those stereotypes of like, it's not you got to be kind of stoic and not talk about how you're feeling and kind of like bottle things up. But that's when people get into trouble.
It worked well for us, didn't it?
Oh yes,
for all that time.
Yep, for sure.
So
for sure. Well, what a great show. And thank you for having us into your home.
Yes.
I feel like I'm sitting in your home.
Well, technically it's my parents'
home. Your parents' home. We're grateful to them for having us.
Yeah, it's a cool studio.
It's a great studio. I got to hang out with a dog. I love dogs.
Yeah, I know. We had a whole bunch of dogs in here.
Yeah, this is incredible.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Well, dogs, you know what they say, dogs are great for therapy.
Yes, they are.
Emotional support.
That is true. Hey, that's another...
It was all planned.
Of all those many things, that's another good one that's helped me a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
absolutely.
Very good point.
Well, we'll look forward to gathering in the studio again. So thank you.
Maybe Bill
all.
will show up for once.
Yeah, maybe Bill will come. So
I don't know. I won't
we'll see.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Great to see you, Greg.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you for our next episode.
Thank you. You've been listening to What's the Point podcast, where you are the point. It's real men telling real stories, from depression to anxiety. No doctors or professionals, just real men talking about real issues. For more, visit the Face It Foundation's website at www.faceitfoundation.org. To ask questions for future episodes, send us an email at wtpointpodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Facebook at What's the Point Podcast, and find us on Twitter at WTPointPodcast. Till next time. This is What's the Point podcast. And remember, you are the point.